Is it possible to stop the zombie apocalypse in Left 4 Dead? Well, to find that out, it is no easy task, because if we look up the definition of apocalypse, it reads an event involving destruction or damage on an awesome or catastrophic scale. So for something to be classed as an apocalypse, it has to be pretty big, like the destruction of the world. But since this game did come out in 2009, and it's not exactly No Man's Sky or Minecraft, we'll have to pick something a bit smaller like a city. And if you were in the heart of the destruction of a city, it would feel rather apocalyptic, especially since a city's population can range into the millions. And if someone was surrounded by even just 1 million zombies, it would be pretty terrifying. But to take out that many zombies is going to take a lot of bullets. Thankfully, Left 4 Dead is set in America, where they have more bullets than people. But just because we now have all the equipment we need, it doesn't make the task any less daunting. So to give us the motivation we need to get through such a terrifying and difficult task, we're going to need a serious and totally real backstory. This should be easy for a guy that jokes about everything and rarely takes anything serious to write, right? Anyway, let's give it a try. Cue creepy music. Night creeps in. The air still and the city quiet, as if someone or something is holding its breath. It's 2 weeks after the first infection. Everyone was told to stay indoors, help will come, but never did. Hunger grows to likes you've never experienced before. You decided the only help you'll get is from yourself. You arm yourself with what you have and venture outside for the first time. You stumble across 3 other survivors and plan to escape the city. You all agree the streets are dangerous, open, too exposed. You don't know what could be watching. You attempt to stick to the alleyways as much as you can, only venturing into streets to cross. As you travel down an alleyway, you hear a woman cry from behind a door. A sound of someone who has given up and just wants the nightmare to end. A feeling you know all too well. A feeling you've held back with your little remaining strength. You all know the best chance for the group's survival is to ignore the cries, but what remains of your humanity won't let that happen. You approach the door, cautiously stepping inside. The cries echo through the room. You see the silhouette of the woman sitting on the floor. You approach cautiously. You raise your flashlight to check if she is okay. Before the beam from the flashlight could touch her face, one of the other survivors pushed it to the ground. You look to them with confusion. They gesture to look closer. As you look closely at the silhouette of the woman you once perceived as a victim of this nightmare was actually a product of it. A woman, not with nails but claws, much longer than what is humanly possible. A cry you thought was someone needing help, but was actually a lure to reel and hook you in before you knew it was too late. As you're about to turn and leave, that breath that was held finally exhales and unleashes horrors like you've never seen before. It's too much to hold back. The time to leave is now, before the darkness swallows us whole. One of the outside survivors runs in to alert you both of the horror that's approaching outside, not realising their actions have just woken a greater horror that was waiting inside. The crying stops and growls of anger takes its place. It turns towards you, not a woman, a witch, a true nightmare. You escape, closing the door behind you in hope to trap the feral beast. An arm breaks through, thrashing like a knife-wielding maniac, but the door holds. As the approaching hordes rush towards you, you see your escape, a fire escape ladder. As you start to climb from the depths of hell, you see something, bigger than the rest of the horde, approaching just as fast, but unlike the horde, it's unstoppable. Bullets have no effect, like bullets bouncing off a tank. No way to stop it, only escape it. As you climb the ladder, you feel a reprieve from the nightmare, but that reprieve was only for a few seconds. Crashing through the hordes, the tank is not like the rest. Nightmares never stay in hell. As you and the other survivors climb the flights of stairs, the tank treats each flight like a step on a ladder. And as you and the others reach the rooftop, you realise the tank is not far behind. When all hope feels lost, the fire escape can handle no more and separates from the building, plummeting towards the ground with the tank underneath. An unstoppable behemoth buried underneath an immovable mountain. You finally feel safe, while the others are filled with joy and relief. These feelings cannot be found in you. Feeling the betrayal of the luring cries and the anger of being trapped by a nightmare you can't escape, Escape the city? No longer the goal. You realise that escaping the city is just a temporary fix, and the only way to feel happy once again is to take back what was taken from you. Now with that serious backstory out of the way, let's find out if it's possible to stop the apocalypse in Left 4 Dead. Oh, and if this video is a success, I'll make more videos for the other campaigns. So if you like what you see and want to see more, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon below to be notified on my next apocalyptic stopping journey. Bye bye. As soon as we jump into the game, we encounter our first challenge that I didn't expect. And that is the keys are not yet configured. Don't worry, I'll skip the configuration. Oh yeah, I forgot the PC version of Valve games you could spray logos. Perfect. So since our goal is to get rid of all zombies, we should probably grab a weapon and a first aid for healing. Or not. Fun fact, back when Left 4 Dead first came out, when playing Versus, people used to jump down to the vent to get a head start on the infected players at the expense of losing health, and as you could imagine, this was removed in Left 4 Dead 2. In chapter 1 of the No Mercy campaign, there's not much to look through since this chapter was intended as one of the chapters to introduce you to the game and the mechanics it has to offer. So as we descend through the apartments and make our way to the streets, we'll take this time to talk about the rules I'll use to ensure I won't miss any zombies as we clear the city of infection. Rule 1. Take the time to smell the undead decaying roses. Not too long though. There's no point in rushing through the game because while we may finish the challenge faster, there's a greater chance of missing a zombie or two, and that kind of defeats the purpose of clearing the city of an infection. However, we shouldn't take too long because the longer we take, the greater chance of spawning a horde, depleting valuable resources, and the many special infected that would come out to play. Rule 2. Check behind every door and every corner. While going through each chapter, we need to check behind every door and every dark room because you don't know where a zombie could be hiding. Sorry, I'll give you two some privacy. Rule 3. Always check the fenced off areas. Just because it's not a playable area for you, it doesn't mean it's not a playable area for them. Everyone needs an area where they can relax and feel safe. Except zombies. Now that we know the rules, let's get back to stopping the apocalypse. After clearing the apartments one room at a time, as well as the alleyway and the room in the alleyway, we find ourselves in the streets, where we are presented with 3 routes to clear out. 2 obvious and 1 many people actually miss on their first go round. Starting with the more used route and ending on the least, we start with the street. While the street is the most direct and used of the 3, it is also the shortest, only having 1 corner and a small street before you merge back up with the other 2 routes. While it has the benefit of being the quickest, it is technically the most dangerous since it is the most exposed, meaning you're more at risk of getting grabbed by a smoker or pounced on by a hunter, and the alarmed car that can attract hordes is more at risk of being in your line of fire. The next route that people tend to take is the building on the right, and to keep the zombies guessing, I decided to enter the back way because why not? Out of the 3 routes, this one is the most desirable since it provides the most protection, containing only a hallway and 5 rooms, the only risk being a stealthy boomer waiting to puke or surprise and make you panic into shooting it. Luckily, boomers aren't the most stealthy. The protection from the outside isn't the only benefit however, as 2 of the rooms provide great benefits. The first room on the left as you enter the building contains a medicine cabinet, which can either give you painkillers or a medikit if you're lucky. Great if you lose a thumb war with a witch, or succeed in doing the vent skip at the beginning of the chapter. And the last room at the end of the hallway is a survivor room, meaning a teammate can respawn there if they didn't succeed in doing the vent skip. The last route we need to clear out, which is the one people tend to miss the most, is the route on the left. While not as beneficial as the second route, it still has great benefits. While starting the route, you can pop into the room on the left that has a chance of spawning throwables. For me, it spawned some pipe bombs, and as you continue the route, you've got a clear route with no surprises and plenty of cover till the end of the route. After clearing all 3 routes, all that remains is clearing the zombies behind the subway stairs and then heading downstairs to the safe room after clearing all the zombies. Oh, come on. Like I said, we then head downstairs to the safe room after clearing all the zombies. After clearing the whole of chapter 1, we cleared a total of 368 zombies. And as you can tell, as we go through the chapters, we're going to keep that total going. Starting off chapter 2 fresh with actual ammo from SMG, we take advantage of the unlimited ammo by shooting all the zombies that we can see from our vantage point. Jumping down, I turn around to make sure to clear all the zombies that were hiding in the dark, an area that people tend to forget if they're rushing through the level. Right at the beginning of the chapter, we already have divergent paths, the stairs and the vents, both leading downstairs. While the vent route may seem pointless, if you're lucky, sometimes some Frobos actually spawn. Although most people tend to skip it, I don't, since we do have to clear it for this challenge, and technically it's a nostalgic thing for me, because I remember encountering it, but for the first time when my mates and I first played the demo on the Xbox 360, and we thought it was amazing. Thinking we were exploring a completely different area, slowly exiting the vents, shooting the zombies, just to go downstairs and realise it was the same room as the other route. Anyway, after making our way down the stairs, we attempt to collect our tickets, but since no one was there, we cleared out all the loitering zombies instead. Loitering is illegal in the US, right? Thought so. Can't have criminal zombies running about. After getting sidetracked by the legal system that's no longer functioning during a zombie apocalypse, we head upstairs where we encounter a lot of zombies waiting on the trains. I told them through the language of bullets that the trains are off for the foreseeable future, and got into a ferocious tickle fight with a hunter. After winning and defending my title of Tickle World Champion, we proceeded down the track to tell the rest of the zombies that the trains were off, even making sure to check the tunnels for the introverted zombies that didn't feel like talking. I then upgraded from my SMG to an assault rifle and took out the zombies that were at the dead end and on the train. As we proceed to walk through the train, we hear one of the disadvantages of clearing out all the zombies. Because the game's director system reads this as not struggling, so to make sure I'm not finding it too easy, it's decided to put a witch in our path. Normally, like everyone else, I just switch off my light and walk past, but since I need to clear out all the zombies, she's got to go. Luckily I know a magic trick you can do with a shotgun. After dispatching of the witch, we head upstairs and are met with a big empty room with many support columns that could obscure many zombies from our sight. So to make sure none of them are being missed, I walk around the perimeter with my back against the wall and shooting every zombie in my sights. Fun fact, there's also a survivor room hidden in this room. After employing Rule 2 and searching every corner, we travel up the stairs and arrive at the generator room and encounter our first holdout moment. For those who are worried about my supplies, don't worry, I've got a medicine cabinet and my fellow survivors. Oh, and a big fucking machine gun. Woo, yeah! After that intense battle, we head upstairs to the break room for a well-deserved break, but not before checking if there was any slacking zombies sleeping on the job and getting a hint of what's to come. After finishing our break, we can hear the night shift arriving at work. And as we check if every room is clear, we encounter the one guy on night shift that uses a little too much pre-workout. And he's not happy we disturbed his post-workout nap. Luckily, with the help of some sleepy time bullets, the little sleepy guy goes back to dreamland. Shouldn't say little too loud. He's a bit sensitive about that word. As we went back to checking the rooms, I took a look out the window and saw Huey trying to take a sick day. Not realising this work doesn't allow sick days. We then went downstairs, reinforcing our no smoking policy, and checked the toilets for toilet paper, since we all know that's the first thing that goes in an apocalypse. Before making our way to the safe room, we remember Rule 3. Always check the fenced off areas, and check behind the tipped truck to see if there's any straggling zombies hiding behind. We then dealt with Huey's brother Dewey, who also wanted a sick day. There must be a bug working its way through their house. After clearing the remaining zombies outside, we cleared out the safe room building, making sure all the rooms were clear, dealt with the hunter that was wanting a Tickle War rematch, and Louis, the third brother, who wasn't wanting a sick day, but just a day off. Obviously he didn't get the memo that we were understaffed today. So we talked about redeployment options and sent him on his way. Finally entering the safe room and clearing the whole of chapter 2, we cleared a total of 490 zombies, giving us a running total of... Actually, you know what? I'll keep the total to the end. You know, gotta give something to keep the video going. Everyone put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Well, you should care. This is a very serious matter. Did you not hear my series intro backstory?
Almost lost my cool there.
Anyway, as we begin chapter 3, like chapter 2, we are yet again met with two divergent paths that merge quickly back up. However, unlike chapter 2, this time the right path doesn't just have the chance of spawning Frobos, but also weapons. Now that I think about it, that is kind of pointless considering we just left the safe room. After clearing both paths and checking behind the boarded up fence, we move on to the truck depot and decide to celebrate our progress with a little explosion. Not everyone was happy about this, as we could hear a crying witch, so I decided to show off my empathetic side and to go back with my sympathy shotgun. After consoling the witch, I pop up to the secret room that you can only enter after destroying the gas pumps. While there was no zombies hiding up there, it wasn't a waste of time, since there were a few pipe bombs up there that would be very useful for the hordes yet to come. Speaking of which... After dispersing of the horde, my Tickle Nemesis was back for a rematch, and this time he wasn't taking no for an answer. Needless to say, it was the hottest match of the year. Since I was the victor of the match, I was allowed a once in a lifetime tour through the totally interesting depot. Feeling spicy, I decided to enter through the office since no one actually left the door open for me. And after clearing all the rooms of all the zombies, I got to admit, the offices were pretty boring. Although I did see a hunter crawling up the stairs backwards, that was pretty cool, and I defended a room from a horde of zombies, so maybe it wasn't all bad. Moving on, we make our way through the warehouse, enforcing health and safety rules by removing the zombies from the racking and travelling downstairs where we are met with a familiar sight. After dispatching of Captain Royd, we make sure the rest of the room is clear before descending into the sewers. Jumping into the sewers, we are met with a labyrinthy sewer system. Luckily, I've got a good sense of direction, so this won't take long. Wait, isn't this where I started? After clearing all the tunnels and rooms in the sewer, it is time to exit the sewers. After we do a bit of consoling. After exiting the sewers, we find ourselves at the hospital, which is perfect timing because I twisted my ankle jumping down into the sewers, so I should probably get that checked out. I don't want to be waiting too long, however, so I think I should probably send a few zombies home. However, before I can enter the safe room, I have to deal with a few special infected that have decided just to spawn in, just to spite me. Finally entering the safe room, we finish chapter 3, finishing the chapter with a total of 692 zombies cleared in that chapter. As we begin chapter 4 without a doctor or nurse in sight, I decided to suck it up and hobble out the safe room with my twisted ankle and take out my anger on the zombies to help deal with the pain. And what do you know? It actually worked. After clearing all the rooms, I noticed my ankle was twisted no more. It really was a case of mind over matter. And by matter, I mean brain matter, as we walked over the zombies that we just cured. Before making our way upstairs, we popped down the corridor that people tend to just run past when playing this chapter. Sadly, this divergent path has no goodies other than the zombies we need to clear. While playing through this chapter, I was reminded that this chapter was going to be the most tedious one. Since this being a hospital, there are many rooms to look through, and with the challenge of clearing every zombie, mixed with my terrible memory, I was in for a long painful chapter. Luckily, thanks to me editing this video, only one of us has to go through that pain, and sadly, I have to go through it twice. While making my way through the countless rooms, I stumbled into this room and was met with a worrying sight, leading me to ask the question, why is there so many pipe bombs in a hospital? I mean, I know it's America, but come on, there's even one in the room 2 rooms down. As I continued to make my way through the hospital, I started to hear strange grunting noises. And I entered the room where the noises were coming from and encountered someone having a little personal time. Sorry, I never meant to use the word little. Not sure what he was doing in there, but it left him pretty sleepy. One of the benefits of having a tank spawning in is it stops zombies from spawning nearby. Sadly, this is a benefit that is short-lived. Got to admit, never expected to see a boomer in the hospital getting visited by his relatives. Sadly, it's past visiting hours, so it's time for them to leave. As we waited the elevator to take us up to where the rest of the zombies are, we are greeted by the enthusiastic DIYer zombies, showing off their demolition skills. After waiting for a long time for the elevator, we got to experience the slow ride back up, which somehow felt longer. As we arrived at our destined floor, before we went any further, I sent home the maintenance staff trying to get a little bit of sneaky overtime in. While making our way through the construction zone dispatching of every zombie we see, I'm reminded of the reason I'm glad I decided to do this challenge on Left 4 Dead 1, because if it was Left 4 Dead 2, a charger or even a jockey would have made me take up base jumping without a parachute as my new hobby. What? Someone has to at least take up the hobby. Parachute makers have to feed their families too. After checking the last room, we enter the safe room, concluding chapter 4, clearing a total of 471 zombies. After completing chapter 4, we move on to the finale, the shortest in length but not exactly in time, as we have our big final stand at the end. But first we have a few early worms to deal with. I don't know if this was an Easter egg or most likely bad timing, but this randomly spawning horde caught me off guard. Like, how can so many zombies spawn back here? There isn't even a clown car in sight. As we've reached the rooftop of the hospital, I cleared the perimeter of all zombies before making our way to the radio for the final stand. Fun fact, like the vent at the beginning of this campaign, this enclosed stairwell was removed in Left 4 Dead 2 as it gave the survivors an unfair advantage, removing the chance to be grabbed by smokers and stopping hunters sneaking up as well. As we gear up for our final stand, we get a call from someone who is a massive fan of our Stopping the Apocalypse adventures and offers us a lift in his helicopter. And not one to disappoint a fan, I accept. And all we have to do is hold off the hordes of zombies for 15 minutes till he arrives. Should be easy, right? As the horde rushes to attack us, I was reunited with an old friend. While enjoying holding back the hordes, that joy was briefly interrupted as we had another no smoking rule breaker to deal with. Luckily, I had some nicotine bullets on standby. Got to admit, nothing keeps you guessing more than hearing and seeing the rumblings of a tank but no clue where he even is. Oh, there he is.
What are you doing?
Me? Just hanging around.
I suppose it wouldn't be right without one last tickle fight for old time's sake. After defeating yet another pre-workout lover, the helicopter we were waiting on has finally arrived.
Our chopper's here. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
And as we make our way to the helicopter, shooting all the zombies on the way, we see that not all zombies want to eat us, as some just want to appreciate the sights. Unfortunately, we can't leave any zombies behind, so Passive Boomer has got to go. As we reached the helipad, we met our final challenge. While disposing of the final zombies, I never realised there was a tank behind me, and as that tank pounded me into the ground, I saw Lewis getting dragged out the helicopter, and in that moment, I knew it was over. Just kidding, when you're in an apocalypse with people, you're bound for life, and as I was bleeding out on the ground, Francis snatched me from the jaws of hell and stood me back up. Round 2. I returned the favour and saved Lewis from the tank, getting my revenge in the process and defended him as he climbed his way back up and got in the helicopter. As it was my turn to finally jump into the helicopter, in true brothers and one sister in arms, they dispatched the final zombies and we flew away knowing we stopped the apocalypse. Just in this part of the city though, because it ain't a city if all it is a few streets, a subway, a depot, sewers and a hospital, that's not even a town. So it's up to you, my viewers, who are kind enough to make it this far. If you'd like to see more of me stopping the apocalypse, like, subscribe and comment below, and we can stop this apocalypse together. And if we get a good response for this series, I'll even move on to Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, and before we go, we still have to work out how many zombies we stopped. In the whole of the No Mercy campaign, I cleared a total of 1,307 zombies, followed by Lewis with 438, Francis with 382, and last but not least, Zoe with 288. Adding them all up, we come to a total of 2,536 zombies that were harmed in the making of this video. Now that said, you've been an amazing audience and I hope to hear from you all next time. Goodbye for now.